All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back. Part 4 of the beginner yoga series, part 4 of 8 of the foundational series. Building on the previous videos 1, 2, and 3 and adding in a key component to yoga. So what yoga is really great is strengthening the core. If we are able to use the core in our postures, it will take that to a whole new level. So in this class, I want to work on what we've covered in the first 3 parts of now going, what do we do with the core? And I want to kind of break down first of the role of the core and what we actually want to look at from an anatomical position. So from your anatomy position perspective, what exactly is the core, right? So when I say core to you, you probably think automatically to those Men's Health magazines where you see the 6-pack on the front. So you see these nice chiseled abs. That is only one component to the core. The core is actually a cylinder. It's like a can, a soda can, pop can, beer can, whatever you want to think of, like a can. And it runs circular around your spine, right? And the cylinder is only stable, it's only strong, and it's stable when all sides of the can have equal strength, have equal stability. If you add one little dent in there or imperfection in that cylinder, it has lost its entire integrity. So when we focus on core in yoga, we want to focus on front, back, sides, and rotational components of the core. That way we develop the stability to keep our cylinder, right, as strong as it can be and as stable and as much integrity as we can have it. Quick couple things, just kind of describing the different components to it, right? The front of the belly, the role of the front abs, so the stuff you do see in the Men's Health magazines, right on the front, is to either take the natural curve of the spine out or to forward fold or to round the back. The muscles in the back of the core extend the spine. They come into your back bend. They create these shapes. So when they work together, they form a clamp on the spine. And I don't know if you've ever looked at, or if you've done any woodworking, like try to cut something and you put it into a clamp or a vise. Right, if I only go, okay, all I'm going to do is just work one side of the clamp. So if I'm only going to work the front of the belly and I just clamp this down onto, let's say it's just a piece of wood. Imagine your spine is a piece of wood, right? And the back side isn't pressing into the spine. It's just kind of resting there. Well, the second I go to press this front side into the spine, this side just kind of just does what it does and it just flops around. And now that piece of wood comes out. Or if I'm sawing the wood just rattles like crazy, right? What we're looking for is equal clamp on both sides. So we want the front working, we want the back working to clamp down. And then the sides are cinching in. The sides cinch in to help stabilize, right? They cinch in, the side of the core kind of side bends here. The sides and a couple muscles along the spine also twist. So we want to get into front, back, sides, and into some twisting components today, right? So to get started, I want to visit Uddiyana Bandha, which is a very common term you're going to hear in yoga, or you might hear it referred to as belly lock. I like to look at it differently, and I will explain that here as we get into it. So first, let's get started in downward facing dog. Like we've done every class, let's start on our belly just to get the proper alignment. Take the middle finger, so the tips of your middle fingers in line with the center of your chest. Turn your left index finger, pointer finger out to about 10 o'clock on a clock. Take your right pointer finger, index finger out to about 2 o'clock. Hands kind of just a little bit wider than your shoulders. And then press up to all fours. Tuck your back toes. Tilt your tailbone up toward the ceiling. And then press back to downward facing dog. Engage your Ujjayi breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out through the nose. Again, inhale. And imagine with your nose you're trying to fog a mirror. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, right foot steps forward, bring your back knee down, hips over the left knee. So the left thigh is vertical. Right, now Uddiyana Bandha is going to be referred to as the belly lock for most people. All I want you to do right here is just take your hands to your belly and hug your belly in as much as you can. And notice what happens to your back. You kind of come into this rounding action. Your back muscles are not firing. So in your clamp, you only have one side of your clamp clamping down on the wood. Right? Not very stable if you want to move it a little bit. So the true Uddiyana Bandha, the way I teach it, one hand to the belly. So take your right hand to your belly, left hand to your lower back. right? Without changing the shape back here. Hug your belly in as much as you can. So you're going to feel your belly working a lot. You may feel the back muscles engaging, but if your back is not doing this, those back muscles are working. Trust me on it, right? Here, right? So pull the belly in, but don't change the shape in your back. Take your hands to your side waist and imagine, right, you're getting ready for your photo shoot on Instagram and you gotta, or after you've taken your photos, you're going through the editing and you need to Photoshop your ribs, right, to look good in your bikini. So you're just gonna come down and just cinch the waist in, right? And then from here, lift the entire core up toward the ceiling, arms forward, arms up. I'm just joking with that whole Instagram thing. We love our bodies. Our bodies are amazing. We're not trying to take them out. I just want you to visualize. Imagine you're one of those people who needs to Photoshop their waist. So just imagine you're shimmying your waist in, reach the arms up, right? So you feel front, back, sides, all working. You can feel how powerful and strong this position is. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, through the nose, exhale. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Bring the hips back over the right knee for Anjaneyasana. And again, this time, I want you to just work the back muscles. So just start to engage your back muscles and lift your chest up. And you can feel, when I go to extend and contract here, if I'm not engaging the belly, I come into this back bend, right? So if I'm only working one side of the clamp and the front's not working, right, I don't have the full strength. So left hand to your belly, right hand to your lower back. Without changing the shape in your back, hug your belly in as much as you can. You're gonna feel both sides work. And if you don't feel the back, you just know because we just did it. If you're not coming into a round and you're maintaining the shape, those muscles are firing. Belly in. Take your hands to your side waist, Photoshop your ribs in, side waist in, or imagine you're putting a corset on and you're just cinching in. And then from here, just lift from the hips up. Lift everything up, and then arms forward, arms up. If you can maintain all of this throughout class, man, you're gonna have a super strong core. Deep breath in, pull the feet towards each other. Deep breath out. Breath in, breath out. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, hands to the mat, step back, come into plank. Come into plank. And just from here, just find the natural curve in your lower back. So a little bit of a lift to the tailbone, not here, we're not down here. You're just in this position and you can kind of feel a little bit of arc in your low back. Without changing that, hug your belly in as much as you can. Take your side waist and cinch them in towards each other. Press into your hands, right? So here, right, rock solid core. The entire cylinder around the core is working. Bring your knees down. Look forward, bend your elbows, pull your hands back, chest forward, but keep the belly in without changing the shape in your back. Come all the way down to the floor, just so we can understand the role of the front belly. Interlace your fingers into Sphinx pose, right? In video 1, video 2, we visited Sphinx. So elbows underneath shoulders. Press into your forearms, hug your elbows back. Keep your knees down, and then just round your upper back to lift your hips. And then from here, hug your belly in and round your upper back even more. Now pull your knees towards your elbows, elbows towards your knees. So that's the front belly work. And you can feel you have a back bend. Your back's not working all that much. It's all in the front belly. When we create this, not back bend, when we create this rounding of the spine or this forward fold action of the spine, right, it's all front body. And then slowly come all the way down. Let's do that one more time. Press into your forearms. Keep the knees down, round your upper back, lift your hips, but keep your knees down. Now from here, think cat pose. Round your upper back. Pull your elbows towards your knees towards your elbows. Right, front belly working, right? To create this rounding of the back, we are 100% working the front belly. The anterior abdominals. One more breath in. And then slowly come all the way down. Reach your arms back, palms face down for locust. Take a breath in, and then lift the back of your ribs up, lift your legs, lift your arms. So now we're creating sort of a back bend shape. So what is working? Entirely the back chain, right? So the back chain creates this back bend shape. Exhale everything down. Again, inhale, lift into locust. Back body works to create the back bend shape, right? The extension of the spine. Reach through the fingers, breath in. Exhale everything down. Bring your forehead to the floor.
Press your pubic bone into the floor. And then from here, hug your belly in as much as you can. Right, so you're drawing your belly in, but your back isn't changing your shape because you're pressing your pubic bone down. You can feel your belly working. If you took your hands to your back, you can feel your low back working. If for whatever reason you can't feel it, just know it is because you're not losing the shape of your natural curve. And then lift your legs. Keep the belly pulling in. Keep pressing the pubic bone and forehead into the floor. Lift your arms. Now keep the belly pulling in. Keep the natural curve in your back. Just lift your forehead off the floor. Notice you can't create such a big back bend if your belly's working, right? So in these poses where we're looking to stabilize yourself, plank, standing poses, chaturanga, this is the action we want. Belly in as much as we can, back working, sideways cinching in, finding that corset. One more breath in. Press up to all fours. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, come forward to plank. In your plank, without changing the shape in your lower back, hug your belly in as much as you can. Just imagine you're trying to Photoshop your side waist, your ribs in. Your side waist, or think putting on a corset, you're just cinching everything in. I also like to kind of think of it as I'm trying to put on a really tight pair of pants and I got to get that zipper closed. So what do you got to do? Right? You all know that when you're trying to get yourself into some skinny jeans, you know what you need to do to get that zipper closed. Find that. That's the same action. Take a breath in, press back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, left foot forward, come into a forward fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, chest forward. Right, so this is why I think in video 1 I talked about half lift being one of the most important poses we can do, because we're strengthening the back of our core. As long as our shoulders are in line with our hips and our chest is reaching forward, we're strengthening the back of our core. Now pull the belly in, find your forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Find Tadasana. In Tadasana, mountain pose, without changing the shape in your low back. So you can always take one hand to the belly, one hand to the low back. Without changing the shape in your back, hug your belly in. Take your side waist, put your corset on, cinch in, or put your really tight pair of pants on, and lift up. All right, now we're going to try to maintain this integrity of the core as we move throughout our salutation. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Belly pulls in to cause the forward fold. Right? Front of the belly forces the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This all comes from the back. Back of our core, chest forward. Belly pulls in. That's where you find the forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up at the very top. Belly pulls in without changing the shape in your low back. Exhale, hands come to heart center. So anytime we're trying to stabilize, right? We're trying to stabilize mountain pose here. If I'm in crescent lunge, if I'm in warrior 2, we're trying to get equal clamp here and from the sides. If we're looking to forward fold, belly finds the forward fold. If we're looking to find sort of a back bend or strengthen the back works to create that action, right? So maintain this as we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, belly draws into forward fold. Always draws into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Back body finds this lift. Right foot back, knee down, Anjaneyasana. Reach the arms up. Inhale, belly pulls in without changing the shape in your low back. Exhale, hands to the mat, plank. Inhale in plank. Pull your tight pants on, zip the zipper. And then knees down, lower all the way down to the floor, Sphinx. Inhale in Sphinx, shoulder blades down your back, press into your hands. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips, come into forearm plank. Same thing in forearm plank, belly in without changing the shape in the low back, cinch the side waist in. Knees down, hips down, Sphinx pose, inhale. Arms reach back, palms face down for locust. Inhale, lift into locust, right, back body finding this, back of the core strengthening. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, left foot steps forward, right knee down. Inhale, arms up, right? We're trying to stabilize, so front and back working, belly in without changing the shape in your low back. If it doesn't change the shape in the back, your low back is working. Exhale, hands down, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Again, stabilizing the back, belly in without changing the shape. Exhale, hands come to heart center. One more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, belly draws in, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Left foot back, knee down. Inhale, arms up. Without changing the shape in the back, draw the belly in. Exhale, hands down, step back plank. Put your tight jeans on, your skinny jeans on, pull the belly in. And then knees down, lower all the way down, Sphinx. Inhale in Sphinx, use the back to lift the chest. Tuck the toes, round the upper back. Belly in, low back stays in its state. Knees down, hips down, Sphinx pose. Arms reach back, palms face down for locust, and then contract your back muscles to lift your body. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Step it forward, left knee down. Inhale, arms up without changing the shape in your back, draw your belly in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, back contracts, chest forward. Exhale, belly pulls in to create the action, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, belly in without changing the shape in the back. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Surya Namaskar A, Sun A, will use the same technique of trying to stabilize the core. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, belly draws in to find the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, chest forward. Exhale, plank, step back. Inhale in plank, press in your hands, pull your zipper tight. Exhale, knees down, lower, chaturanga, belly in, but maintain the shape in your lower back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Feel the back contract, but also hug the belly in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, strengthen the back of your core. Exhale, belly draws in, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll do one more of those. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, belly pulls in, find the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, back body finds the extension of the spine. Exhale, plank. Inhale in plank, pull your belly in without changing the shape in your back. Exhale, shift forward, knees down or knees lifted, chaturanga, but hold the belly in without changing the back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, back of your core creates the extension. Exhale, belly draws in, finds the forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. At the very top, belly pulls in, back stays in its natural shape. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, reach up, belly in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, back body contracts, find the length in the spine. Exhale, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale to the floor, Sphinx. Come into Sphinx. Press into your forearms, hug your elbows back, chest forward, chest up. Tuck your toes, round your upper back, lift up. Come into forearm plank. Look at your right hand, turn your right hand in. You can always bring your right knee down, but start to roll to the outside edge of your right foot, inside edge of your left foot. And then lift your left arm toward the ceiling. Come into side plank, Bashistasana. Side plank does a really good job of getting into the side, right? We need that photoshopping side waist in, or that cinching in. This helps. Again, you can look just like this, here. But press into this right forearm and hug the elbow towards your feet. You're gonna feel all these muscles along the side kick in. And then lift your hips up as high as you can. Right, so you're feeling outer waist, you're feeling outer hip, you're feeling just underneath the armpit, right? Lift up. And then left forearm down, come into forearm plank. Without changing the shape in your back, you can always bring your knees down if you need to. Hug your belly in. Look at your left hand, turn it in just a little bit, roll to the outside edge of the left foot, inside edge of the right foot, lift the hips up. Press into your left foot, hug it towards your feet. Lower ribs draw in, so belly in without changing the shape in your back. Right arm toward the ceiling. Pull the feet towards your left elbow towards feet. And then forearm plank, knees down, hips down, Sphinx. Take a breath in Sphinx. Exhale, reach back for locust. Inhale, lift into locust. As you lift, feel your back body create the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause and down dog. We'll start adding in some of our standing poses we've learned and how to integrate the core. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step it forward, come into warrior two. So heel to heel alignment, left foot either parallel to the back of your mat or slightly turned forward. Left hip a little bit forward and down so you can see the big toe to the inside of the right knee. Pull the feet towards each other, but what you don't want is your knee here or your knee here. Try to get it right over the ankle. Feet towards each other, arms wide. And then bring your right hand to your belly, left hand to your lower back. Without changing the shape in your low back, hug your belly in as much as you can. Take your hands to your side waist, just like we did in those side planks. Use those muscles. Lift everything up. And then arms back to being wide. And just feel how much work this is. Right? Most people just want to come in and just hang out in warrior two. This feels better. I'll come to yoga all the time and just be here. But if we truly want a strong core, Uddiyana Bandha, right? Back and front working, sideways in and up, arms wide. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Just ignore the lawnmower going by right now. There's nothing I can do about it. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward, warrior two. I think the lawnmower guy just wanted to be able to do some yoga too. He just heard about these amazing videos and he wants to join in. Right, but set your feet. Right toes turn forward a little bit. If that's my preference. Feet parallel, totally fine. But right hip a little bit forward and down, left hip a little bit back. Just so I can see big toe, second toe to the inside of the knee. Pull the feet towards each other, reach the arms wide. Just feel this first. Feel how your core doesn't really, it's on, but it's not really fired. Right, it's strong, but it's not efficient. Take your left hand to your belly. Right hand to your lower back without changing the shape. Hug your belly in as much as you can. Right, feel that. Sideways cinch in, lift up like you got a corset on, and then reach your arms wide. And for those guys who think, I don't know what a corset feels like, you do know, you can imagine what it feels like, right? Take one more breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Again, imagine you're putting on those really tight pair of pants and you got to get that zipper through. Zipper up and close, draw the belly in without changing the shape in the back. Shift forward, bring your knees down, lower all the way down. Come into Sphinx, but again, interlace the fingers. Just so we understand the relationship of front and back of this core, right? Anterior and posterior, front and back. Keep the knees down, lift the hips. Round your, so hug your belly in as much as you can and press into your forearms. And as you round your upper back, the more you can round the back, the more you can feel your front belly. That's the rule. It's to round the back, is to forward fold. Bring the hips down, come into Sphinx. And then to get the feel for the back of the core, reach the arms back. And then inhale, lift into locust. Back body finds the contraction. And then slowly come all the way down. Roll completely onto your back. So come onto your back, draw your knees into your chest, and then lift your shoulder blades off the floor. So I want to now, as we lift and reach our arms forward, palms face forward, try to keep the arms off the legs and just reach forward. Lift your tailbone up, lift your shoulders up. So we're in this little ball front of the core. It's creating this rounding, it's creating this forward fold action. Take your arms to the outside. So now we're starting to tap into some rotational components. We have obliques on the side, we got the side body, we have the multifidi, these ropey muscles along the spine, all forcing us to twist or allowing us to twist. But this right shoulder blade wants to stay down, lift up. Press left arm into right leg into left arm. And then staying upright, switch sides. Press the arm into leg into arm. Lift this left shoulder up and feel the muscles you feel, right here on both sides. You feel those muscles working on the side of our core. And then come back to center, roll back onto your belly, come into downward facing dog, right? Just one more recap of how to get to downward facing dog with the appropriate amount of length in your downward facing dog, or get us within the ballpark. Middle fingers in line with the center of our chest, press up to all fours, back to downward facing dog. So now I want to use that rotational component in a standing balance. So right leg up. Step the right foot forward, come into crescent lunge again. Feet hip width distance. Lift this left heel forward and up. So right, not pushing back, lift it up. And then look right knee over right heel. Bend your back knee, lift the hip points up a little bit, and then straighten out your left leg if you want to. Right hand to your belly.
left hand to your lower back without changing the shape. Hug your belly in. Without losing front and back, cinch the side waist in, lift up. And then from here, arms forward, arms up. Turn the palms forward. Make fists and imagine you're grabbing hold of a pull-up bar, like you're about to do a pull-up or a chin-up. Take a breath in. Then on your exhale, imagine you're taking that pull-up. Feel that resistance as you bring your elbows slightly lower than your shoulders. Feel the power in your upper back. Feel the power in your sides. Twist to the right. And as you twist, feel right along the right side body. You feel those muscles twist, but you also feel on the left side, it's trying to pull you back to center. That's the amazing thing about the body. It's always trying to bring you back to equal. So we'll just hang out here in this rotational component, right? We're not collapsing down. We're not leaning back. We have front and back of the core working, and then we tap into the rotational component to twist. Take one more breath in. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward, come into crescent again. Feet hip width distance. Bend your right knee a little bit as you come up. That's already going to start to lift to the hip points. And then lift your hip points up. Left hand to belly. Right hand to lower back without changing the shape in your back. Hug your belly in. Bring your hands to your side waist. Cinch everything in. Lift up. And then arms forward, arms up. Turn your palms forward, make fist again. Just imagine you're gripping that bar and you're getting ready to pull yourself up. So you feel that resistance in your arms. Keep that, start to bend your elbows slightly lower than your shoulders. Without pressing the lower ribs out, keep the lower ribs in, twist to the left. Right, the lower ribs want to do this. Here, contain the front ribs. Keep the front belly pulling in. So we have front and back of the core working, and then we have the rotational component tapping in. Deep breath in. Right, not leaning back, not leaning forward. Belly in, back. We got the clamp down here, sides clamping in, and then the rotational component, rib cage, twisting. One more breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step to the top of your mat, come down onto your shins. And then with your shins, toes can be tucked or untucked, but bring your hips over your knees. Take your hands right to where your glutes meet your hamstring. Engage that spot and press it forward. Take your peace fingers into your hip points. Hug your belly in without changing the shape in your low back. And then take your hands to your low back, fingers up, maybe fingertips down, or make a fist. That's just going to depend on the mobility of your wrists, what's comfortable for you. We're going to work towards camel, right? We haven't done a lot of quad opening today, so I don't want to go deep into camel Ustrasana. I want to just kind of bring us into it because it takes a lot of front body as well, and it's a little bit easier to engage the front body in camel than if we're taking wheel pose, right? So from here, what I want you to do is keep your left hand at your lower back. Take your hand just right to your pubic triangle here, right? Just grab a hold and just lift up a little bit. You're going to feel your tailbone lengthen down. And then bring your right hand back. Shoulder blades pull towards each other down your back. And then from here, just lift the back of your ribs. So take the back of your heart up toward the ceiling. Keep the lower belly pulling in. And then from here, just go back slightly. But as you go back, try to maintain that belly pulling in. The hip points come along for the ride in the back bend. What this does, and then you can come all the way up. Sit back on your heels. If this is not accessible to hit back on your heels, sit back on a block, on a pillow, or just stay stacked over your knees. Right, you can stay right here. But what this does is, a lot of times what people happens when they go back into camel, right? They just go back and they just lean back. What this does is it forces you to collapse into the low back, which people find pretty uncomfortable. They find it, not too many people go, oh, camel is my absolute favorite pose. Why? Most of the time it's because they are doing it wrong or not doing it efficient enough of engaging the belly. So it's really uncomfortable in the back, or they might have tight quads, but most of the time it's because it just feels like they're just hinging in their low back. So what I want to work is the core action. We know that the roll of the back is to create the back bend. We know that the roll of the belly is to fold forward. It's to flatten out the curve. While we are taking a back bend, we want some engagement to the belly just for a little bit of length in the low back. Because right, if we just collapse into low back, by just engaging the belly just a little bit, it's going to lengthen the low back out just a little bit. And maybe you can see it here if I lift my tank top up. But normally if I don't engage the belly, I'm just collapsing here. But the second I start to engage my belly, you can start to see it just naturally lengthens the low back out. It's not a big lengthening because we are still going backwards. It's still going to be some compression in the low back. But we want a little bit here. So just one more, right? So hands to your low back. Hip points up to start. Keep them coming up as you start to go back. And don't go back too far. We haven't done a whole lot of opening. I just want you to get used to taking a back bend, but hugging the belly in. Right? We're not just pressing out here, right? We're not just trying to see how far we can get our belly button away from us. We're actually trying to bring the belly button towards the spine. And then slowly come all the way back up. Sit back on your heels or sit back on a block or a pillow. Or if it's just more comfortable to find another seat right now, this isn't a comfortable place for you, find it. And just take a few rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale. Breath in, breath out. We'll get into Ustrasana a little bit more. I just wanted you to kind of work the how to engage the belly as we take a back bend. We'll also do it here in bridge. So come all the way down onto your back. Set up for bridge pose. All right, come into bridge pose. Turn your heel slightly in. All right, we've done this in every single video so far. So you should have a firm grasp on how to come into bridge. You want knees over heels. Take one more breath in and then press into your feet, lift up. And then from here, just engage the glutes and press the hips up without engaging the belly. Let the belly go limp. And you can just kind of feel, maybe you feel some pinching or some collapsing into your low back. Belly's not working. Now take your hands to kind of your hip points or your pubic triangle and just draw your belly and lift those up a little bit. You're going to feel tailbone lengthen. Now press into your feet and lift up a little bit higher. Right, so any of these back bends, we want this engagement of the lower belly. It's not going to take the back bend out. It's just going to help spread it out a little bit, because what we're looking for in these back bends is not centralized sensation. Right? We want the front of the belly to lengthen the low back out so we feel equal sensation across the back. Right? Equal sensation. Take one more breath in. And then slowly come all the way down. Take one more breath in. And then final set, press into your feet, lift up. But keep the lower belly pulling up. Pulling up towards the ribs and then press down, lift up. All right, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to maintain core stability in all of these poses. And then slowly lower all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana, so bring the soles of your feet touch, knees wide. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then draw your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Keep your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg long. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, press into your left foot. Shift your hips just a little bit back to the right. And then bring your right knee across the body. Doesn't need to be a deep twist. We're just getting into twisting on our back a little bit. But as you twist, hug your belly in toward the spine. And with your left hand, press a little bit into the knee or into the thigh. And with the right thigh, press back into the hand. So you feel your hip and your core all working here on the side. Inhale to create space, draw the belly in, keep it in. Exhale to twist. Right, when we twist, we want both sides, both front and back working, and we want the sides to maintain the hold of the twist. Come back to center, right knee in, left knee follows. Squeeze in. And then extend your right leg long. Hug your left knee in. Take a breath in. And then shift your hips a little bit back to the left. Bring the left knee across the body. With your low back, press it a little bit towards your left knee. But with your belly, pull your belly button toward the spine. So it's like your low back's trying to press your belly button to your knee. But your belly is pulling the belly button toward the spine. So you got equal actions clamping down on the spine. And then right hand, a little bit of pressure into the left leg. Left leg with the same amount of pressure back into the right hand. Arm wide, left arm to the left. It can be bent. You can kind of have it up here at an angle, whatever feels good for you. And it's totally fine if this left shoulder is lifted off the floor. Inhale, create space. Keep the belly drawing in. Exhale with the belly drawing in. Find your twist. And then come back to center. Extend your legs long. Extend your arms long. Shavasana. Find Shavasana. Just a few moments of breath here. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And as always, I encourage you to stay here as long as you want, but trying to keep these videos short for you so you can get in as much as you can within about a 30-minute time period. Start to roll onto your right side. And slowly make your way up to a comfortable seat, towards the front, eyes closed. Bring your hands together in prayer position at heart center. Slide your thumbs towards your forehead, towards your third eye. Take a final deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, right? So just remember, the roll of the core is to forward fold. The front of the core, the roll of the back is to extend it, is to come into a back bend. The side is to cinch down. We want all 4 sides working together as a cylinder, not as a front or not as a front and back. It's a circle around the spine. The circle, we need the entire circumference to be strong in order to maintain integrity and stability. So check back next week for part 5 of 8. Revisit parts 1 through 3. Do this class as many times as you need to be able to grasp it. If you haven't already, subscribe. Have a great day. Namaste.